making a dive here.
Not going to be enough. How actually was 10% life. I want to say about 50 life or so, but he time-lapsed in time to survive there.
This is, by the way, one of Hao's best hero. Like, back in the old TIs of 2s and 1s and 3s, like, it's definitely a go-to pick, even when Weaver was not in the meta. So it's not surprising to see him play it here, and he knows this hero in and out. You say, like, it looked kind of close. Like, he had that calculated. Simple calculus, no problem.
Speaking of calculation, bottom lane, Faceless Void dives on a Clockwork right there, did the math, and had the assistance of Yao to make sure that kill happened. So the first kill coming out for LGD and finally getting on the board, so that has to feel good. Faceless Void essentially having free farm down here. Ring of Aquila is going to be Man Shield and the Power Treads, of course, on top of that. So what kind of Faceless Void game is this as far as this item build goes? Because he's playing the one position here, they're going to be relying on his right click, right?
Yeah, so normally when you go safe lane Faceless Void, you could go pick up a Lincoln Sphere, although in this particular game, I think Lincoln's looks pretty bad. There's not many spells that actually blocks. I think he's going to opt for something like a Shadow Blade, something like Manta Style, just basically allow or give his team a little bit more right-click damage, instead of just being really hard to kill hero that could chrono you.
Weaver, Brown Boots has been picked up, and it looks like his Dragon Lance is in the works. Speaking of Powell playing the Weaver, we go for more of that bulkier build and ready to combat here earlier on. Top lane, Earthshaker falling back before the rotation is successful from Amy specifically. Amy, by the way, played a fantastic Ricky game last game, and I know they came out on the losing end, but he was doing a lot of work in that early game, just roaming around from kills and whatnot, kills himself. As the bottom lane, though, this is going to be a Chronosphere. You're kind of wondering if that was going to come out. They felt like, let's say, don't get the kill, though! Oh my gosh, that's a miscue. Okay, they will get the kill at the end, but at what cost now? As Yao's in a little bit of trouble, but the TP's in time.
No.
Ember Spirit tried to come back in with a Fire Remnant, but it was a little too far away. Well, that actually worked out for LGT pretty well in the end because of what was costed in return.
Yeah, that reminded of the C game I casted yesterday, where everyone they didn't lay off that second round of auto attack. Victoria might be dead. He could just TP out here if he wants to, but I guess he wants to soak a little bit of that experience.
Wants to bait. He wants to do. Meanwhile, top lane, is that a solo kill?
Yes,
it sure
it
is. Echo Slam used.
Yep. Level 6, you find a slow speed support hero, walk up to him next to a creep wave, Echo Slam, gets the kill. But a key mistake there by Ori, did leave a Fire Remnant on the mid lane. Obviously wanted to basically get the kill. Because he left the Fire Remnant on the mid lane, it wasn't quickly enough to burst down the Ancient Apparition.
X marks the spot, pulls back Yao. Earthshaker's not really nearby, he's pretty much left on his own. And this was a smoke gank coming out from Vici, not that it would have been really seen anyways, to be fair. But still a successful gank nonetheless. Of course, the slight move speed increase.
It was good that they were able to get the kill without using the hook shot, so now Yang could walk up the hill and maybe start something against 11, but I say that though, he is...
Starting a fight he can't really finish right there. Yeah, that's him falling back pretty quickly as he runs into the Earthshaker. He's lucky that, obviously the Echo Slam, he knew it wasn't off cooldown yet, but still. If he had Echo Slam, that could have been a different story. But man, 11's doing very well here. Sorry, I keep it in the wrong key, guys. Freaking Dakota keybinds here. But Earthshaker, the Blink Dagger, I mean, he has 1,000 gold saved up with Power Treads and an Iron Talon on top of that. This is going to be a pretty farmed Earthshaker.
Yeah, I think the more impressive thing that he was able to get this, which pressures against most melee heroes extremely hard. But like you said, he was able to pick up a couple of solo kills, he's able to survive a couple of ganks. And 011 was able to pick up the Blink last game relatively early as well, and it started off the mid game with a bang. A two-man Echo Slam in the mid lane, followed up by his teammate Sonic Wave. And to me, that like just took over the game once that mini team fight happened. So I'm looking towards him to make the big plays again. This game, a lot of juicy targets that he could open the fight. You echo the Weaver, and suddenly those two, normally very elusive hero, could just straight up die.
Yeah. Top lane, Storm Spirit charging in, Haste active. Gonna dive this Visage here. TP coming in from Clockwork, but don't think it's gonna be in time. There's an easy kill on a Visage. And now Easy Paul lining out there if necessary to survive. So Clockwork also will have to be a little careful himself, but it gets a solo Storm Spirit now. I think he's to be too worried about. Middle lane though, X marks the spot, pulls back in, yeah, with the torrent. Here comes Faceless. Let's copy the Chronosphere now. Ember Spirit, Fire Remnants in the background, but this Weaver's in a lot of trouble. In fact, will go down as a zap comes in from Victoria to finish the job. Ghost Ship, that Ghost Shark of his, actually connects right there on a faceless foil, but he has another time walk at 3 seconds. The lift on the Ember Spirit. Here comes the Visage, but what is he going to do as the Echo Slam goes off right there? The Fire Remnant away, though, and Ori's going back in. Actually, Yang joins the party now with those cogs. Going to block in the issue, the whole cog block going on, but 11 still standing his ground. Throws out the Enchant Totem. Down goes Clockwork. This distance, as does Kunkka and Visage. So they did not lose anyone on the Radiant side. That was pretty impressive. As I say that, okay, they're going to lose one in Victoria at the very end, but overall pretty pleased, I'm sure.
Yeah, trading support Rubik for a Clockwork, a decent trade. To me, that's the power of an offlane Earthshaker. Look at how tanky he is, just with power treads. He basically just stood in the cogs, tanking 2 to 3 heroes, and they just couldn't kill him after all those spells was already. In spite of that, though, Hao is going to get a tier 1 tower. I wonder what build he is going to be going for. I'm expecting something like Dragonlance into, let's say, a Diffusal Blade.
Okay.
The reason I say that, though, like, your normal defensive items like Linken's and BKB, to me, doesn't really protect you from the Chronosphere. So I think he just have to, like, Roth that it up, and hopefully he can survive through the Chrono. And the last team fight, it looks like pretty close. He was able to get off the time lapse until, like, the last couple of nukes came out.
Yeah. To clarify, still both supports, and they got 3 kills in return, including that Weaver, as we mentioned. But yeah, going back to the Weaver real quickly too, as the rotating bottom lane, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to catch anybody though, unless Clockwork maybe runs into somebody. Hookshot is ready. We'll find Rubik as he saw the ward put down. Perhaps we'll see if that take care of that. But Weaver gets boots, and you know, I say that like it's almost odd hearing that, but there are a lot of Weavers that I've noticed that actually don't get boots, frankly, until even later on in the game, if anything.
Right, if you want to rush towards Lincoln Sphere, and you're going to be AFK farming anyways, upgrading the treads doesn't help you that much. Oh, 11 walks right into the cogs.
Goes right into them. That battery assault is causing a lot of issue, and it is going to secure the turn kill out of him. Yeah, he just literally ran right up into there, completely blind. I mean, that was an ambitious movement there.
I mean, it looked pretty bad, but in actuality, Storm could have jumped in. There was an AA blast that could have flown in as well, but they quickly identified it. Oh, Shaker was a little bit more resources in this lock fight.
Bygones be bygones, they say. Storm Spirit, though, can he get out of this? Absolutely not. That was more than enough burst damage used. Bottom lane now, Weaver's trying to get the kill onto Rubik, and this is going to be 3 kills if they gets the kill, actually. It is going to be enough. Geminate attack does him in. That's 3 kills in the span of about 30 seconds there.
Yeah, I think right now LGD's playing very sloppy, especially Victoria. He's still not level 6 yet, and recognize there's no way you can steal my Sakuchi. Every time I see you, it's a free kill. And he's been going hard. I think first time was in the mid lane, and now diving the tower to get yet another kill. They need to get this Rubik onto 6 because not just Sakuchi, like there's a lot of other great spells that you could steal. Oh, 11 again, now it's going to get caught out. LGD, I mean, crumbling a little bit here.
This is interesting because he has Echo Slam. No TP's coming in. Oh, nice job with the blink. He bought it and blinked away. Clutch plays by 11. Jeez, I thought, you know, saying though, he had the Echo Slam, and if somebody was TPing in, that could have been a nice turn, but that was even better.
The crazy thing is, he had the bugs on him, right? So he had to sequence the purchase and the blink out very rapidly, or else the bugs would have canceled it. So
yeah, I could have done that.
cool under pressure. So, I mean, the other trick that you could do is that you could backpack your blink and then put it back in your inventory, wait 6 seconds, and blink back out. But hard to do that if you're not tanky enough to pull that off.
In his part, middle lane. They want to catch the Ember Spirit. Chronosphere is ready. Mask of Madness purchased, by the way. He's going to use it right here. And on top of the Ice Blast, it's going to be enough. Rubik was there as well at the last second, actually. So without Rubik, that would have been a little interesting. But yeah, Mask of Madness on Faceless. That's the ancient pub-style build on these Faceless boys.
I really like the way that Ame played that. He jumped into the trees here and then chronoed him from the trees. Instead of jumping, let's say, right on top of the Ember, right? Like, if you like jumps back out with his Fire Remnant. So chroning from the trees was the only way to get that kill, and they played it perfectly.
I noticed that too, so I'm glad you kind of answered my question without me asking it as far as that movement. That makes sense though, because yeah, with these top tier players, they figure he would have been able to react in time.
Yeah.
He went on top. Ember Spirit, by the way, drums. Speaking of, he likes drums, man. He went that on Dragonite last game.
Yes, he did. I mean, I think this game, it's more so for like just getting some extra tankiness, and it does help his team brawl. And I think it's okay for Ember to go with this kind of build because you're mostly spell damage anyways.
Battery Assault Wars coming at you right here as he steals it, and that will be a death on the, and never mind, he hookshot it away. Oh my god.
The plays.
The plays indeed. The Cogs into the hookshot away. He survives actually. Top lane, AA was actually picked off in the boundary area while that was happening, so well played. I hear an X marks the spot going off somewhere on himself just to pick up that hasten and get away. Escape there.
I feel like LGD is kind of playing to the pacing of the game of Vici Gaming when they don't have to. Like, they have two very elusive, hard to gank cores. If they just slow down the pacing of the game and just farm, they should be able to extend very strongly into the mid-late game. But instead, I see their supports being very active, and normally that's a good thing, but right now they're getting picked left and right.
Bottom lane, picking up pick, Storm Spirit, I guess it'll be fine. Just simply an X and Torrent combo, just to harass her.
Right, and that's kill Storm, and it takes so much to kill your Void that you could just play a slow farming game, but instead they're playing into the tempo against an Ember Spirit that went drums, against a Weaver that's going like Tread, Dragonlance, Diffusal. You know Vici wants to fight early, but LGD, despite of that, is fighting into them with heroes that like Rubik and AA are just very squishy in the front.
LGD's trying to be aggressive though, that Echo Slam, it's still level 1 unfortunately for a Shaker, but they're looking for a Smoke Ink right here. And find Port coming in as well from Faceless Void. He's actually going to do just a set of Ancients here. Instead, AA will just put some more offensive vision out, and as we see on the mini-map, it doesn't seem like they're going to be running into anyone anytime soon here. Maelstrom is going to be the next item of choice for Faceless, so he's going to keep up that attack speed. Try to get some massive stun procs in between the time lock ability. For now, as you mentioned, just keep on farming. That's the name of the game. Storm Spirit, he's well on his way to finishing that Bloodstone. Keeps pushing out the bottom lane, but we're going to see a group up now from Vici here at the top. Never mind. It looked like that they were going to push the tower as a team, but they decided to fall back, actually.
Radiant structures.
Weaver Diffusal Blade, you were talking about that possibility, and sure enough, it is coming out here.
I'm really worried for the likes of AA and Rubik as these fights break out. Because Weaver, all he's going to do is just like go to the back line and just kill these two supports. And there's not a damn thing they could do about it. Technically, the Rubik can steal Sakuchi and zip away, but as experienced as Hao is, I'm sure he will protect the Sakuchi steal by like throwing out a swarm in between and just kill Victoria if he's going for that kill.
See, moving as a team up here is LGD, at least the 3 of them. Got AA as well as Rubik and the Earthshaker, and giving counter warding in the process. Earthshaker's not afraid to be in the front lines. He has a 4-staff now queued up to go with the blink, especially against the likes of a Clockwork. Very good item to have. Not even like a Kunko, you can argue. Just in general, I mean, 4-staff for what it's worth, for how much gold you spend on it. It's such an efficient item. But yeah, we see up here, 11 gets caught actually. The Familiar is slamming down into the ground. How finish the job on top of a battery assault. And Tron actually last hit credit there with the Soul Assumption.
I thought KS was actually pretty important, not for Tron, but for Yang. If you look at his item queue up, he's like 100 gold away from a Hanamitis, so getting his own, but I think that one should have really went to Yang.
But Tron almost level 10 now, no, but almost a Solar Crest even finished, as well as the Medallion here picked up. They're going to go for Roshan instead. Or transition into Roshan, I should say. Yeah, so good. That's a first use we've seen of the Familiars, though. We haven't really talked too much of Visage here, but using those Familiars to help set up a gank, of course, coming up for Visage, and that's one of the powers of this hero as a support option.
Yep. Also adds close to the team. A disable that doesn't essentially attach itself to the hero, right? You could kill Tron, but he'll still provide disable through his death because of the birds. Very unique kind of supporting tool that you don't see in any other hero's kit.
Interesting level 15 talent choice right there. Not that I'm surprised he got it, but Faceless Void gets a 25 damage over the 7 armor. I mean, 7 armor is quite a bit, and this is a decent physical damage, especially with that Weaver on the other side. But
it's just the Weaver, actually.
Oh, yeah.
The bolt is coming out as magic, Soul Assumption is magic, so I don't know, 7 armor is kind of a lot, though. So.
It is. Yeah, 25 damage, not much more damage coming out, especially with that Chronosphere stuff and the Mask of Madness and the Maelstrom kicking in right here. And he's going to have a full-on Mjolnir at this rate. Pretty damn quickly, actually. So, not surprised to see him on the net worth charts at nearly 10,000 net worth overall. Ember Spirit close behind 8,300, a Maelstrom himself, and a BKB now.
be great because if he's right next to the Ember Spirit, it's gonna constantly try to proc 11.
Again, can he blink away in time? Oh, it's actually still on cooldown. He's good job of what
Oh, the
shot.
bird!
He actually, the bird hits it, and the Echo Slam goes off to stall him even more. That's a Soul Assumption nuke right there. The Fissure, if he actually escapes this, the Familiar is not going to stun long enough. Oh my gosh. I mean, it cost him an Echo Slam, but...
I mean, that's fine. Cooldown's not that big. It's only 2 minutes. Chuan first takes the kill, no Midas for the Clockwork, and then denies the kill on the Shaker. I don't know, Chuan. I mean, that's just an honest mistake. So.
Yeah, you guess. There's nothing to blame there. That's just unfortunate. As middle lane, though, he comes back in, actually. They go for a kill on a Storm Spirit, a Fire Remnant initiation, and down goes that Storm Spirit. Ice Blast in the face of Visage. At least they're going to get the turn kill on a Visage, but AA also will fall, so a 2 for... Before he gets the better of this middle spree.
Top lane X onto Ame. Ame just chronos and goes right on Kunkka, but the X callback.
He still wants it though. Time dilation. He gets the kill. The Cog's not in time. In comes the Shark, but he's going to avoid it actually with the time walk right there. He gets a double kill. On the bottom lane, I was also watching Weaver. He's actually still trying to get out of this. Shikuchi was taken by Victoria, by the way. They want to go back in because of the presence of Ember Spirit too. And in fact, Rubik, he gets blown up. Earthshaker. Stopper for him.
Yep.
So he's good. Well, I mean, it's hard to kind of really, like, that wasn't bad for Vici, but a double kill for Faceless at the top lane by himself is pretty good.
I mean, at the same time, I feel like Hao is also getting to a point where I feel like he's pretty unstoppable. But yeah, I'd much rather to be on LGD side, because the ultimate trump card is still the Chrono on top of the Weaver. Like, despite how farmed the Weaver is, I'm not sure if he could throw everything on top of him, and they likely will.
Hey, you know that big Echo Slam's coming too. 20-second cooldown still on it left for Earthshake. They're going to try to make a play on a Hao down here, though. Ice Blast on top of him with the Fissure initiation, the lift, a great execution from LGD. Who needs a Chronosphere when you have 3 other heroes putting out the CC instead? Ori, Flame Guard's up, but gets the one go to A. Nice job with the Remnant 4, catches her, Shaker, or Echo Slam coming up 1 second. Yeah, he's not going to use it. Thought he might have gone for a turn. But actually, Faceless is coming over in his Ancients. He doesn't have a TP, or he does, but yeah, they chose it's best not to really try to help. I mean, I guess they got the Weaver kill, and they were just happy with that, at least.
Well, there's no reason for them to come back, because he doesn't have a Chrono anyways, right? So he comes back, he's a big melee creep that can hit really hard, essentially. So recognizing that, he said, look, I'm just going to get my farm, and you guys do you. Like you mentioned, he does have the Mjolnir finish. One thing I do want to mention about that is that the Weaver does have the Diffusal Blade now, so you could Lightning Shield, so I'm not sure how big of an effect that will ultimately have in a team fight.
Yeah.
Something
else, keep in mind, AA constantly applying that chilling touch, at least when he's nearby, especially with the Faceless Void, is going to be pretty huge as far as damage output goes in these fights. What else did I notice, though, too? I was going to be... Oh, yeah, BKB's almost finished off Faceless Void, actually, as well. But yeah, Storm Spirit Bloodstone is down to 8 charges. He did die shortly after he got it, unfortunately. Rubik's going to get picked off in the middle lane, meanwhile. Does have a Yules to follow, but already being down to 8 charges, that definitely stings a little bit.
Vici, though, this is their game plan. Kind of ramp up the tempo, ramp up the aggression. Finds a Rubik behind tier 2.
Uh-oh. They're going to catch, actually, the Earthshaker right here. The tier 2 is still up on top of this, but Earthshaker's like, screw it. I'm going to take out people with me. Pops the Echo Slam. The Ice Blast will get the kill on a Clockwork, and they're going further. Chronosphere comes out. Ember Spirit not caught in it, but it might not matter. He cannot get away about Faceless Void. Nice time walk. That wasn't Aegis, though.
Did that Chrono catch anybody?
It might not have, to be honest. It seemed like it was just maybe zoning people, if anything.
Maybe it caught like a support on the other end of it, but yeah. I guess it got the kill, so hey.
That's true. I mean, that is the thing, to be fair. Like, even if it, like, yes, you want to catch people, but if anything, maybe zone them. Like I said, I would have to really go back and look at that. But yeah, they get the Aegis Spurt. Deal with that now, at least.
I think the Aegis was close to running out anyway, so it wasn't like biggest loss for Vici. To me, though, I think Ember Spirit needs to make sure that... It's hard to say whether that was worth it, right? Because he threw his life away for Earthshaker and a tier 2, so that seems to be okay. But as we move on more and more forward, it feels like a lot more of this game is on the shoulder of Hao. We talk about how Yang is going to have trouble scaling as a Clockwork, even is throwing his life in for kills. It's really up to how to do that damage. Now?
Yep. Chronosphere's not up. They know this. No Echo Slam either, so they're going to take advantage. They find the Earthshaker. And looking to find more out of this hook shot. Will catch the AA. The bounty root stolen right in front of him as well. Top it all off. The cherry on top right there.
The pressure is real. I mean, I think Blitz and I were looking at the game in a much slower context, right? He says, look, Chinese case, just wait for your ultimates and then fight. But the pacing of this game is the complete 180 from what we believe to be.
Yeah.
And Vici Gaming just punishing LGD very heavily.
He has a Chronosphere. He kind of just walks right in. He pops his BKB, though. Chronosphere's going to use it. Yes, he is. He will catch a couple just on the outskirts right there. Kunkka included, it looks like, but he may not even be able to kill him. It looks like barely will be able to. The BKB is going to be wearing off, though. He has to be careful. Time lock, you can't get it off. Actually, all the mana was gone, and he's not buying back. He just bought that BKB, and if you're Vici, you're going to go balls deep right here. Storm Spirit will end up denying himself, or I guess might have just died at the end. Actually, Schwan, credit for the kill right there.
Well, Ice Blast. Would it get Ori?
No. Oh yeah, looks like it actually might have. It did catch him right there at the end. The Cold Feet is going to lock him down, actually. Earthshaker jumping in. Does have that Echo Slam, but the battery assault causing issues. It's like, screw it, I might as well use it once again, but it's not the best use of the Echo Slam. He goes down. That's 3 heroes staying dead, including the Faceless.
LGD just throwing lives at Vici right now. They're not getting onto Ori. Ori survived. He says, look, I'm going to port home now, get full HP and Fire Remnant right back, and Hao is going to lead his team and take perhaps the first lane of Rax. The critical mistake in that team fight was the Chronosphere not catching the Ember. I think Ember was like stunned for a second or so. Had he Chrono immediately, that would have, to me, ensured the Ember kill. But instead, I think he went greedy. He wanted to min-max a little bit. And as a result, they lose a huge team fight and the melee Rax.
100% with you. Yeah, no, he held off, and I was wondering myself, I was like, when is he going to use it? And by the time he did, he gave the chance to react for Ember Spirit instead. And he also went for more like the bigger Chronosphere as far as the positioning of it, trying to catch others. So it's one of, obviously in hindsight, if he could have a second chance, he would 100% just simply use it on the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, if he could choose if to get Ember or like 2 other supports, Ember is the one that he would want. But well, at this point, no point about the pass. Let's see what LG could do. The next big team fight is going to be at Roshan, and I think this perhaps is where LGD has the quote-unquote lead. They have Chrono back up, right? There's no way they can stop that Chrono from coming out because of BKB on the Void. So in theory, LGD should be able to have map control here and ensure that they get the Aegis. At the same time, though, Ori could be split pushing bottom. There's pressure of bigger creeps on the mid lane against the LGD high ground, so we'll the side wave and steal a Roshan for themselves.
To mention this earlier, I don't know if he actually had it in that last fight. It's very possible he did, but the Pipe of Insight picked up by Kunkka here. As far as the support item goes, there's a lot of magic damage here on the Radiant side. As Faceless Boy runs in, there is Chronosphere only catches Visage though. Gonna beat him down, not even enough damage though. He's gonna have to turn his attention instead to the support nearby. And Kunkka, they do get the kill on a Visage, and Kunkka will barely live for now. Stormspirit finishing the job with the ball landing in, gets the kill, but in the back who dies with an Echo Slam ready to go. Faceless Boy, time dilation. He's going to get caught though, and that Diffusal Blade just burning all the mana that he had. He at least has a buyback, but again, it's just the choices here from LGD just seem so sloppy as far as the Chronospheres who they want to go on. It's not working out the best.
Yeah, I feel like LGD is feeling highly pressured by the current game state, and obviously they should, so they felt like they have to take a very risky team fight. But all of the narrative that we had was, you know, your ultimate trump card is you have the Chronosphere for the Weaver, right? The problem is, how many times did we actually see the Weaver getting chronoed? 0?
I don't think we've seen him get chronoed.
Exactly, like that's just how out-positioning LGD as a result. And if you're looking at the end of the day, this Weaver is 4-2 and 9, outputting a ton of damage in every single team fight. And if he's not controlled by the Chronosphere, the rest of the team just can't control him. He's got a BKB. So he just...
Stupendous.
And now you look at a hero like Visage, sure enough, the support hero. He has a Solar Crest, a Rod of Atos pickup, and he's level 15. On top of that, he's the 50 damage talent. I mean, him with his familiars, he's going to start, you know, being much... We saw that last fight with the Gravekeeper's Cloak. I mean, it took forever to kill him. That's not good for LGD.
The problem for Faceless Void now, because of that Rod of Atos, if you root the Void, he has to commit. Like, he has to activate his BKB, because if it doesn't, and he can't use his... So that Atos pickup from a 4 position support has a huge impact in this game. Also, you know, pressures the Storms as well.
Faceless Void level 21 right here, so starting to keep an eye on level 25 talents, of course, in this game. See him, you got Ember Spirit and the Storm Spirit both at 22 as well, but you see Faceless Void, you know, it's going to be another one of those interesting cases. We mentioned all the physical is on that one hero on the Weaver, about 20% evasion. And 600 time walk cast range is not too shabby either, so we'll see what he goes for there.
It'll be interesting. You definitely could make a case for either one.
Yeah.
And now this could be yet another desperate smoke attempt from LGD.
Faceless in the front lines, looking for that option. Everything is up. We still have yet to see, you know, again, the big Echo Slam. Not to put all the pressure on 11 here, but they would like to have that. You got to give credit, though, to Vici. That's probably a lot of it is because of their positioning.
You can't combo Echo Slam with Chronosphere. Like,
That's true.
It's just awkward, right? So part of it's the great positioning for Vici, but also part of it is just the nombo coming out from LGD.
That is a very, very fair point, actually. And Ember Spirit just gets a gem delivered on top of everything. So as far as map control goes, Vici is starting to really control things very well. And you look at the lack of vision right now from the Radiant side. They have one pretty deep ward.
Yep.
The Shrine, but that's basically it.
Pretty sweet word. Have not seen this one before.
Yeah, where it's actually positioned.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to de-ward this one. I mean, if you don't have a gem, but...
That's more of a, if they want to get to do Roshan when it comes up next, but by the time Roshan's out, I mean, that ward's already going to be gone anyway, so. Yeah, it's only 2 minutes left. Not going to be of much value, it seems like, at this point. Storm Spirit, he's fine. I thought Ember Spirit might have been looking to hunt for him, actually, but just happens to be nearby. Both are going to Shivas here. Storm and Ember Spirit.
Yeah, there's a lot of physical damage coming out from the respective core of the enemy team, so makes sense. I guess for the Storm Spirit, also have to contend with the birds.
Incoming!
If you're Rubik here, it is obviously Shukuchi goes back to being a very good ability to steal. Is that pretty much his priority, just stealing that ability? Like, or in a fight, is he looking for more?
If he could get Ghost Ship, that's the best spell he could steal for the team fight. The rum is going to be huge. 11, and then just defensively TP out.
That was it. I mean, he had teammates nearby, but again, already taking the damage from Weaver. They don't have all that information, and the Diffusal Blade kicking in too. You just saw his mana start to disappear.
Yep.
He doesn't want that.
Also, no need to risk your life for a tier 2. The big fight is going to be the high ground.
Wasn't it last game we were mentioning about 11 playing the Earthshaker that the Forest Staff out good of an item? That was that game too, but he ended up going to Yils instead.
I think Yils is better because you're up against... Well, so Forest Staff is good, don't get me wrong, but he also was in a lot of trouble against the X-Torrent combination, and you could dodge that with the Yils. So, in a perfect role, he has both.
Yeah, which he's trying to do.
Yeah, he's trying to do, but kind of poor.
Obviously, see there's clockwork here, and Forest Staff good against him, so kind of pick your poison type of deal. Weaver, Cheese is still on him, so that with the time lapse, this is going to hero to kill, as he tends to be. And Ember Spirit has enough gold for that Shivas, but of course the idea of buyback, what he's thinking about. He also is a top net worth in the game. Faceless has started to die off a little bit when it comes to top net worth. He was for really most of this game up until these last, really feels like maybe 5 minutes or so at that. Lincoln Sphere coming.
Yeah, he feels like he feels pressure enough that he needs to buy the Lincolns, which, I mean, there are a lot of ways to, there's a lot of things. At the same time, they could easily pop that Lincolns with, let's say, Raw Vatos and then keep going. So I don't know how impactful that item actually will end up being.
Yeah, it's one of those, unfortunately, especially for one position, it's like this later on in the game, you want to be getting items that are like, okay, now they feel comfortable fighting, you know. Lincoln Sphere, as you're getting at, is that really the answer of, oh, now they're going to be good to go, you know, in a fight, so.
And it still doesn't help you with things like, let's say, getting rooted by the Ember Spirit. You can make an argument that getting Mantis out to, you know, get out of roots like from Rod of Atos and whatnot might be perhaps even better, but, you know, obviously he feels differently, so.
Well, again, working on finishing it, but it also doesn't seem like Vici's maybe in too much of a hurry themselves, but a smoke up from LGD. Gonna really bait out Faceless Void here, seems like, but you already have Vici falling back. Almost as if they might have seen something.
Aegis timer is
okay.
what they want to punish. want to make a play.
And the Dire scans them too. Yep, they saw this coming, so they have a very good idea now of what's coming up. And they're going to fall back. Clockwork, its Heaven's Halberd has been finished, actually. That's just, that's not in that. We should really almost expect to see at least one a game. Nowadays, it feels like.
Double damage.
So, almost taking over the Solar Crest in a lot of ways. Bottom lane.
Sorry, which item? Heaven's Halberd?
Heaven's Halberd, yeah.
Like that item is underpurchased. It's just so good.
Yeah. For the value, yeah. They just keep on buffing it, man. They've buffed it a lot over time here. It is a strong, strong item. So yeah, Clockwork taking advantage of it here. But you see the counter smoking from Vici is also not going to end up in much, though. Both teams are in a very play-safe mode and mindset here. Roshan, of course, as you mentioned, is definitely the next key for unlocking that.
I have a confirmation bias of some sort, but from my memory, it feels like the Chinese smoke gangs have like the lowest connection rate compared to all the other regions. And my personal theory on that is when they smoke gang, they always, like, it feels like they take way too many heroes. So from the enemy side's perspective, suddenly when all 5 heroes disappear from the map, it's perhaps a little bit too obvious. Again, that could be confirmation bias. I don't watch every single Dota game, so I might just be watching those ones. But
no, that's a...
time I see a smoke gang fail, I'm like, yep, Chinese Dota.
Just saw an example right there of both sides doing the same timings, really, and running into each other. So Visage does actually have his Zags now coming, so now that we're getting to the later game style, Visage is going to get that third familiar coming out as a result of the Ag, so just more power from him. And Weaver even, I have Scotty's actually just about finished too, so the more time he gets to farm, I mean, the more dangerous. You already mentioned he's going to almost feel like it is going to be the difference maker. As far as making it just so difficult to take him out again, unless they land that Chronosphere, really a wombo combo of swords is going to be necessary here from LGD, which they have that potential, just a matter of it all coming together.
And it's hard to come together, right? Again, how do you chain Echo Slam into Chrono in a way where your Shaker gets to attack? I guess Ame could land a Chronosphere where the Weaver is just at the side, so that everyone could...
The ideal fight is that Faceless initiates on a Weaver, just look to use Chronosphere simply on Weaver, and then Echo Slam AA ulti on the other supports, you know, on everyone else basically. Like, that's the godlike initiation.
I mean, there's also this thing where, like, Weaver could just buy back a time-lapse back into the fight if he thinks, look, you committed all your spells. You got nothing left. I could just do that. With that said, though, that plays have been made in the past, and you just by a second time if you just like misjudge it.
Yeah, that could be dangerous.
I think Envy has made that play in the past.
Oh, you just had to give him a shot.
Shout out to my boy Envy.
Well, he qualified for TI.
Yeah, so
that's an Eye of Scotty finished on Weaver there. That means he doesn't have a buyback currently, but again, it's good luck killing him. 2,600 life, time lapse, cheese on top of that. Very, very slippery. Roshan is up in 10 seconds though. So fight for Roshan beginning. Familiar's already there scouting it. So the Dire side is going to get that information in just a second. So the ping's going to come out immediately right after. Oh, Ember Spirit, that was close. Yeah, I've noticed that throughout this game. They've been really abusing the X marks the spot quite a bit. Both sending back Ember Spirit to base and then having it come back in as a result really quickly, or just stuff like that. You know, you put it on, they go in pretty deep, and then they get sent right back. So.
This actually kill the Ember if that's the case. Hao gets jumped on the bottom side here, but he did activate his Sakuchi, so he should be fine. Oh, wait.
Orchid's up, but...
I mean, he has BKB. If he feels unsafe, he can...
He's trying to bait that out, if anything. He wasn't going to get killed there, so... He's just trying to make him use it, but not happening. So going to be fine, and back to the Roshan pit now we look. So both teams pretty much have confirmation that it is up. Just a matter who feels comfortable actually going in and who's going to get that jump, really.
Double damage.
I mean, do you have to make a smoke player for LG, do you think?
It would help. The question is, do they have smokes left, right? They've been kind of churning through them, and I don't think they have it. Because normally if you have a smoke left, you would have one on your support, just in case you need to like smoke right then and there. So I'm guessing that they're out of it.
Faceless almost playing a ward himself. I think think that it's happening, but it's as we see, that's not the case.
Okay. If they see how outside the pit, they could be pretty sure that it's not being done,
True.
because that's pretty much all of their physical damage against Roche. Uh-oh, this is...
Sting. Will be the flat. He's going to be fine. Ball landing in the back lens. Catches Kunkka, actually. The fissure on top of that. Clockwork, though. The big initiation of double the counter initiation of the hook shot right there. Storm Spirit still sitting on top of Kunkka. He gets the kill. The Roman supply, though, to some teammates right there. Earthshaker. So he fall again. He didn't get off an Echo Slam in the fight. Rubik's just trying to run. Here comes the Chronosphere, and he catches the Visage as well as the Clockwork. That's going to be 2 dead. 2 more dead even on top of that. And they're also going to get Weaver in the midst of it. He has time lapse, though. G's in the backpack currently. There's the pick up on a Weaver. And now Ember Spirit and the Weaver going up onto the Faceless and the Storm Spirit. That was Visage picked up. Excuse me. Weaver still plenty alive. Swarm supply now to Storm Spirit. And he's going to start running in and ends up denying himself after the mana burn just again.
Yet another team fight where Hao does not get Chrono, and that's not, to me, the mistake from the Faceless Void. That's just great positioning from Hao. He just wait for the team fight. His supports are always up on Ame's grill by using things like rooting him with the Ember Spirit, rooting him with the Ra Veto, so that he has to commit the Chrono. And of course, once the Chrono gets committed, Weaver comes out and kills everybody. There was an unfortunate misclick in that last team fight. Storm Spirit orchided one of the birds instead of the Weaver. Wasn't even close to dying. That's unfortunate.
That is a little unfortunate, but gotta wonder how much of a difference that really would have made right there.
I mean, you know, might have been roaching right now if
Yeah.
Hao died, so that's a pretty big difference. And now they got double cheese now. Hao has one. He's got the Aegis. Somebody else has the other cheese. This is looking like it's almost insurmountable, especially if he's the Bloodthorn.
That's the most expensive item in the game. Good old Bloodthorn. Faceless, he's also trying to go for one of his own, though. Chrysalis has already been picked up, and he has the Orchid recipe. Full queue here. So going to be a Bloodthorn against a Bloodthorn of sorts.
Can I give you a cocktail party unfun guy technicality?
What's that?
Well, technically,
It's not the most expensive?
they got...
Okay, get out of here.
I mean, that's what I'm here for, right?
Mjolnir picked up by Ember Spirit.
Rune of invisibility.
So, yeah, I mean, Hal's continue to be the focus, but Ember Spirit's actually been up and top in the charts with net worth. I mean, he's 22,000 right now. In fact, Faceless Foot has actually overtaken that.
Yep.
Funny enough, but my point is, Ori's obviously done plenty this game too, and you can't look over that. In fact, his own Orchid into Blood actually coming along too. So
yeah, that's another thing that, you
Wow.
know, your Lincolns will be pressured. Your Storm's Yules will get pressured. So, yeah, it's rough. I do want to talk about the way that he's played Ember this game, starting with a drums build that he got as his, I believe, first major item, right? We're so accustomed to seeing Ember Spirit being the, hey, I'm going to zip in and kill everybody, but this game he's more or less playing utility. He says, look, Weaver, you're going to do damage. I'm going to be up in the front line throwing out magic damage and roots mostly. And he's not looking to Remnant in to get kills. And I feel like Chinese region as a whole has, to me, developed this playstyle of Ember that's, I think, a little bit ahead of the other regions, the style of Ember, but again, that could be my personal bias.
Yeah.
Because I do watch a lot more Chinese game than other regions.
I just can't get over the fact. I mean, we're going to have 4 Bloodthorns in this game if it works out this way. Yeah. I mean, Storm Spirit's going for his as well.
Oh, this is... Oh, nicely played here.
Okay.
Using up at the end of the X. They're going to try to spin down, but the Force Staff, he's still in there. Is he going to die? Echo Slam, perhaps? Okay, they get the Aegis.
All right, that's a start. It's a start. Nothing really major committed either, so this is very ideal. Chronosphere comes out, and the first Chronosphere to light on Hal. Out comes the Ice Blast as well, and Hal is going to melt in the midst of the fight. He has a buyback if need be. Clockwork also in trouble in the backline faces, trying to do damage to him, but Star Spirit, it looks like he explodes in the midst of it as Ember Spirit flies in with Clockwork and the cogs on top. Earthshaker buys back, as does Weaver, by the way, and of course he is back into the fight. He did time lapse back in, as you were talking about. over to, baby. BKB popped by Hal. Amy goes back in on the Faceless Void. He's looking to focus the Ember Spirit, but Amy needs to be careful. Time walk, maybe? Get that heal. Looks like yes. He time walked in time. He will be fine for now. Keeping his distance. In comes the Echo Slam for 11. Is it enough? It is on Ember Spirit at least. And if Weaver dies, that's going to be huge. Maybe he's trying to run him down, but Weaver keeping his distance. He has to stay alive. The gem goes down, but Weaver, he's not afraid. He's going back in, baby. He gets a counter Earthshaker, and he wants to do more even. He wants a tier 3 still. He gets a tier 3. Now he is going to fall back. And Ember Spirit, I believe that was a buyback onto him as well. If I'm not mistaken, yes it was. So he's back into this fight. No buyback on Earthshaker. They're going to get racks here, it looks like.
Yeah, and it might be Mega Creeps as well. I think they have what it takes to just run bottom if they feel like they're strong enough. Here we go, jump forward. Again, this time it's going to be for the Ember. And Ember, that is a dieback.
Dieback, 120 seconds, aka 2 minutes. Hal's in trouble.
Oh my God.
Hal goes down. He's dead for 109.
Yo.
And LG pushing out now. Schwann's also going to fall.
Go top. There's no towers to go top. They could just like take racks. I don't know if they could go throne. That's a lot of buildings in the way. I doubt it. But this is an opening that 5 minutes ago, if you told me this scenario, I say, Breaky, you crazy, because that's not going to happen. But now it's happening.
It is happening indeed. I'm almost just in awe at Vici. Why were they insisting on going so deep? I mean, because I guess that's the answer, but clearly there's still enough firepower here for the likes of Faceless Void and Storm Spirit especially to deal damage, and you got to figure maybe an AA ult was thrown in there as well to help, and that with the Chilling Touch, I'm sure, had plenty of impact too. So
I think the Weaver buyback initially made sense because, again, all the spells are downs, right? So he comes back, he fought a long time. He actually, even after the buyback, got a second usage of the time lapse because the fight did go on for so long.
Yeah.
But the into respect, because that Echo Slam just opened this game up again. They get tier 1, they will get tier 2.
And more.
45 seconds till they're going to get a Rax, right?
Yeah, no, they're
It's going to be too dangerous.
Tier 3, BKB is right here.
Okay, maybe they get a Rax still?
If you're Vici, I mean, it's such a fine line, because you don't want to destroy your support. The back Storm Spirit's like, we're going to come to you then. And Kunkka will get picked up. Lotus Orb on Clockwork in the midst of it. Now, they got to be careful not getting too focus fire, because Weaver is up in 2 seconds. They're not going to get the Rack, so they end up going for the Kunkka kill instead. And now they are going to at least attempt to retreat right here. Oh, maybe not. The big fallback. They go back in. They're going for the kill on a Clockwork, and Clockwork man have fallen as the Echo Slam follows it up as well, but I don't even know if that connected. He's forced staffed away right there.
Being focused down. He has no BKB, he has no jump, he has no one to get rid of Rudy. No. He's dead.
He couldn't get it off. Now, he has a buyback, though. So that is the key right there. Rubik is going to get caught, too, and Rubik will fall. Okay, so where the hell are we now? They do not get the racks.
We are watching the Chinese regional qualifiers.
I'm trying to really now look at this. Okay, so may the racks did not fall. Do you think that was a mistake to go for Kunkka?
I think as soon as you miss the Chronosphere, that was... And they didn't go back, and that was it. With that said, though, LGD still has their own melee racks up top, so if Void buys back here, they can protect
back
it.
Forth, here we go. You mentioned, all they got was a ranged heal there. Weaver goes back in. Remember, no buybacks on them. Got to be careful. Faceless Void. Chronos in 20. They do catch AA, and that will be a melee racks kill. Without the Chronosphere, I don't think Faceless figures it's not worth the buyback at this point.
Well, Vici says, look, if you don't buy back, we're going to keep pushing until you do buy back, so... Out, regardless.
It's up to 5 now. And he does have a Bloodthorn, of course. So, yeah, here we go. Storm Spirit goes in. There's the buyback. He didn't catch anyone, though. He gets rooted. But that Rod of Atos going for Visage. Visage taking some good damage, waiting for the Chronosphere. He's not going to use it on just a solo Visage. That'd be silly. Clockwork, also the only one left behind. So Vici just really retreats there, which is definitely the smart move.
Yeah. So that just goes back to the decision of the Faceless Void, right? Had he just buyback before he lost the top racks, maybe respect the buyback, and they didn't have to lose that racks, but then we're playing the what if game, so obviously LGD very far behind now. The next point of contention is Roshan, which is spawning in about 30 seconds or 3 minutes. We'll see. Secondary Orchid / Bloodthorns are coming out on the side of Vici.
Yeah. I just can't believe that still. Yeah, Faceless has his. And of course on the other side, Ember Spirit has almost got his finish. Weaver actually is. Okay. Right now, Storm Spirit getting close to his. So yeah, that's going to be a very big item in this game. Both sides here. It's a shrine kill though. Faceless in the way and LGD. at least get that taken out. But again, they do not have any racks yet. They've lost their middle and their top racks here. Chronosphere is back up.
Smoke.
Whoa, he's going deep for this. Really wants this kill. He does have the echo. He's going to go off right there. Storm Spirit, they catch Kunkka. Kunkka's staying down. Deep pop by Ori, though. And he'll, not too much, I guess.
Well, this Storm is making plays here, and they still have the Chronosphere in reserve, so they're saying, look, we're going to do Roche now, if it's up. And if you come, we have the Chronosphere for you. But unfortunately for MGD, it is not a, if they just wait there for 10 more seconds, you can get Aegis.
Yeah, this is huge. Patience, LGD, patience.
I think the Ice Vortex should scout it out. It should last long enough.
Well, Faceless went bottom, though.
Wow. So unlucky for them.
Yeah, it's going to pop up right here, and they're going to be like, ah, crap. No, they didn't see it. It wore off at the last second.
Oh, my God.
I had it on their vision. They definitely did not see it.
Yao could just Ice Vortex it again, although he seems to have no intention to do so. But, you know, LGD still needs to take care of the wave. They are down 2 sets of racks now. Cannot allow bottom to be pressured. And also at this time, when you're down so many racks, it's Visage. He's doing right now, he's just shoving out waves with birds on the bottom side. And if you leave backdoor protection unintended to, those birds...
Huh. Wait. And he has a Yasha queued up. What happened here? Interesting. You seem in awe. You seem just like...
Okay, so
what do I think of this?
I think he's going to break this SNY and turn it into a Manta thing.
See, that would make sense to me, actually.
But I think it's just better off to have a Manta right now because you need to get rid of all those silences and roots that's coming your way.
And now he has a... what am I thinking here?
Now he's got the Moonshard queued up.
Earthshaker, oh no, he's spotted. Cody blinks just in time, and Hookshot hits another target. He went beyond him. That was not the intention. Clockwork's trouble. Chronosphere's ready, though. He wants his Chronosphere against Weaver. He caught Weaver right here with the stun. That's on top as well, and that's a dead Weaver again. Now this time he does have the buyback. Use it immediately. Time lapse is back in, and here we go. Round number 2 once again. Ember Spirit, BKB is up. He has to get out. Hex actually onto that Faceless Void. Mjolnir returning plenty of damage, but Faceless Void, he may very likely fall. He could not get the time walk. He's dead for 108, and this could be the beginning of the end, although Ember Spirit goes down. If they get Storm Spirit, they're not going to, though. He keeps his distance. He'll be fine. So maybe not so much, but they're not going to have a Faceless for the next minute and a half right here.
Yeah. There's more than enough time here for Vici Gaming to claim the last 2 racks or just go for a GG depending how they feel. Okay, we feel like Roshan, so they go back for that. That's perhaps the ultimate safe play because How did buyback and time-lapse back into it. I really appreciate the balls that this man has, right? Because the last time he did that, they almost lost the freaking game.
Yep, and he didn't even think about this. He's like, you know, I'm doing it again.
He's like, this is the right play. I'm going to go for it again. And this time they're going to be rewarded by winning a team fight. But this reminds me of the last game between Clutch Gamer and Execration yesterday, in a sense that this game shouldn't be as close. And look, here comes LGD.
Chronosphere, no Echo Slam, who cares? Storm Spirit jumps in, pretty decent timing actually. Will pull in the Weaver, just comes out, the Rum flied. Down goes the Aegis, is picked up by Hal actually. This Roshan is picked off, so that's the key target for Vici right there. He pops his BKB. Storm Spirit now being stun locked. Needs to that, and he is going to barely be able to ball lightning. The final auto attacks coming out are not enough damage to finish him off actually, but
Rocket
got what they came for, and that's the Aegis on a Weaver. Now this is enough time to allow for Faceless Void at least to come back up.
Yeah.
However, so I want to bring this by you, Lumi, before we see another push right here. Instead of the success and why even into whatever his plans are, honestly, Refresher seems like it'd be a pretty badass pickup here.
It depends on if you want to build offensive, but now that I think more about it, the Refresher allows you to have a second BKB essentially in a team fight.
True, that too. Another Bloodthorn even.
So I'm with you, Breaky. Put you in the game. Take Ame out.
Let me take over, Ame. I got this. Totally. Yeah, no, that would be a horrible idea. Me and my 6K skills.
Although one thing for sure is his mana pool. Hold that thought here, as we do have Kunkka being initiated on by the Stormster. Can he actually just get the solo kill? It looks like he does.
And he's dead. 75, however they get the Chronosphere coming out, Weaver, and they missed that. He's not taking the most damage though. Instead they're focused firing the Visage, and now they're going for Weaver. Weaver's dropping. If he goes down, okay, that's the Aegis pop right now. So can they make a play after the fact? Again, they will not have a second Chronosphere. Embersphere can't get out. He's staying dead as well. And now how he has to just run. He cannot worry about kills right here. He has to get the hell on out.
Bash.
He gets left in. He's gonna die. And now it's no way for LGD to go back here and try to finish the game in their favor some way, somehow. 56.
LGD, like LD means come to a high ground, guys. We got you, and that's exactly what they're doing. Defense or high ground play again. 100 seconds. I think that's more than enough time here for LGD to shove the wave across. Dude, maybe we don't know what we're talking about. SNY is the play, man. Got the name in there, obviously making the difference. Going back to your suggestion to the refresher, the one wrinkle in that problem is that his mana pool isn't the greatest, so I'm not sure whether he could get a back-to-back Chronosphere, especially if usably or by the Weaver. Whatever the case is, that doesn't matter because he doesn't have a refresher, and they feasibly could win the game right here by LGD. Here we go, boys.
Vici Gaming's lives are on the line right here. They're the ones that are down 0-1, trying to force a third game here to keep their hopes alive of TI7. And LGD on the other side of it, trying to face off against Ehong Keeman in the next round, which then would determine that spot. So they're going to cutthroat. They're going right down the middle. We saw what happened last time. Chronosphere's up in 20, and that's right as Ember Spirit's coming up.
30 seconds without the Weaver. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of the team is all utility, right? Especially with the Ember Spirit going for the item builds that he's on for. He's like saying, Weaver, you do the damage. The problem with that is if the Weaver's dead, there is no damage against the Faceless Void.
They're smoking in. Now they're not going for tier 4s. I think that's key. They're going for the top lane instead.
That's all right.
They're going for the top set of racks and try to even this up in the sense of the racks right here, and they're going to get it. Ember Spirit, even with Ember up, again, deep confident going in, because this could be the game if you go into PG and they die here. So.
Yeah, if you go for the 2 Raxes, then you just back out after 2 Raxes. Had they commit for the throne, then, you know, they commit fully. But that was a decision point that we don't know whether it was the right decision, because you could have made an argument that, look, we could have gone tier 4 and win, right?
Yeah.
But that's not the call they made. We'll see how it plays out. Ori?
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Bot's level 2 porting in, actually, from Storm Spirit as well, but you see a Faceless and a Storm Spirit flying in on his head.
Dude, I'm at the edge of my seat right now, because
me too.
This game could go anywhere.
This is good Dota. As far as just entertaining, I'll put it that way. I'm not going to sit here and say this is the cleanest Dota ever, but that's what makes the most entertaining Dota, in my opinion.
I agree.
There's natural mistakes that can happen.
Amy?
Oh my gosh, this is big. This is a game-ending fight right here. Storm Spirit just going in. They have no clues. Hook shot kind of whiffs right there. Nobody pops the BKB, going in for the Weaver. The Chronos goes up, and now comes the Ice Blast as well. This Weaver's dropping, and once again, if he goes down, that could be it. He goes down. He's dead for 100 seconds. Nicey Conker trying to survive, but off to the side over here. Maybe we'll barely be able to ball lightning away as Ember Spirit trying to run him down. Storm Spirit ball lightning again. No, Yule Scepter in the air. Faceless Void coming back in as the Echo Slam connects on a 2. Down goes Ember Spirit. He has a buyback. Conker's going to fall, though. It's just going to be Ember versus the world as Clockwork. Oh, not right there with the Electric Vortex pull in with the Lotus Sword, but down goes Clockwork. Okay, there are buybacks on actually Visage as well.
The Storm Spirit taunt, and now, like you said, Storm Spirit as well as the Void Faceless Void buys back, and they're going to just run down this last set of racks. I believe LGD is going to get the first, the Mega Creeps. If you told me that 10-15 minutes ago, I wouldn't believe you. This is crazy.
Absolutely no way.
You know, I keep saying, where are the Chronosphere on the Weaver? And Ame has hurt me, and he has delivered every single moment. He just finds him and just chronos him every fight, and there is no more buyback. This could be Mega Creeps, but Mega Creeps ain't GG yet, so let's see if Vici could make a defense.
I'm not calling GG until the game is actually over, until we're at the score screen, because with a game like this, you absolutely never know. So there are the Mega Creeps. Now they just need to go for tier 4s, do as much damage as possible. I mean, you don't even defend tier 4s here, but obviously if they start beating on the Ancients, then you have to go in.
Output is crazy fast.
Chronosphere's in 20 seconds.
That SNY, Breaky. That
the SNY is the game winner. He does have a Bloodthorn here as well, remember, so Ember has to be very careful about that, but they're not going to go for it.
Game's not over yet.
Yeah. They say, you know what? There's still a little bit of time left. Let's not overdo it.
Let the boys play, man.
Indeed. What's our buyback situation? Let me just keep it on this tab, really, in a game like this.
Rubik has one, and AA Okay,
And
that could be
Clockwork.
important.
So those are big. Those are really big. What's Faceless? 620. Yeah, this is now Vici's chance. If Vici gets a pick off onto Storm or Faceless, and they're the ones that could actually finish this game.
Here's the line of play here for Vici Gaming. You need some rat Dota from Tron. Like, he needs to get his birds in the base, and I'm not sure if it's enough damage to break backdoor protection. I don't think it is, but I don't see how they could mega creeps. But I feel like he needs to make a play with his birds to give him a chance, give his team a chance.
So put it all on Chuan here. He's used to pressure. He's dealt with that before. That Scythe has definitely been pretty key too. I've noticed that Faceless has been hexed up a couple of times in these fights. Coming out from him. I thought Clockwork actually had one too, but never mind. He's got the Halberd. The Lotus Orb has actually been fun to watch there with the Axe. That was an interesting Spirit pull-in because he has the Axe. That actually did the whole AoE pull-in right there as a result.
Wait, does he have the Axe?
Yeah, Clockwork does.
Oh, okay.
So I assume that's why that worked. Honestly, I didn't even know that that's how it 100% worked. If you have an Axe yourself with a Lotus Orb. But it looks like it does. Because everyone got pulled in on the Radiant side from what I saw.
Fight breaking out.
Yeah, Rubik going in with the hook shot. Ice Blast right on top. They do a good job of spreading. However, Clockwork gets called. Ooh, that was an Echo Slam that it wasn't used on anyone, though. Or Shaker. Maybe. Unexpectedly.
Al is on the chase. Chronosphere on top of his face, and look at his HP! He's gone! He has the buyback. He time-lapse into the Chrono. He should be fine right now, and
Faceless.
now it's looking to kill.
Faceless, if he dies, we just talked about this. If he dies, that could be GG in favor of Vici Gaming. So now Ame has to keep his distance. Just keep him alive is the name of the game. Weaver, though, wants that kill. X is going to pull him right back in. Can they stop this? They cannot. He's dead for 2 minutes. 80 seconds. He does have a buyback.
Home in trouble. Storm is pouring into the throne.
Going for the throne.
He's
This is
hitting the
it.
throne.
LGD's going for the throne. Here comes Ember Spirit holding him off, though. Science goes up. And there's the counter Science with the Bloodthorn. In fact, Ember Spirit could be in trouble here. Storm Spirit's going in. Ember Spirit's dead. Hook shot in now. Coming for Clockwork. But can he stop this? He can't stop this by himself. Who cares if they're dying in other places? Unless they get back, this could be the game now for LGT.
This arm
Once again, now
had
they
the topper.
disarm, and it's going to be enough to scare him
the
off
base
right
at
there.
1,000 HP. Keep in mind. It's time to get kills and pressure mid. Go, go, go. It's so anybody's game right now.
How do you do that, though, with Storm Spirit lurking near and obviously their base being heavily pushed in? They can't capitalize.
Where is Yao going right now? This is not the time to hit neutral creeps. What is going on?
He's farming, man. He wants that Mjolnir, which no doubt will be great in a game against Mega Creeps, but yeah, it's as far as, I don't know, man. It's the last thing he wants to do, though, is go.
Victoria gets a lift up. I mean, I don't think they can kill him or anything. By the way, Hao tried to TP back to defend against the Storm push, and Victoria was there to break his Lincolns, or just lift him up and cancel the TP. That was the reason why Stormster was able to do so much. Do they have protection? Hao pops his BKB. He is scooching away. He does not have time lapse, and it looks like they just guessed wrong, and Hao should be able to make it home. But this is precious seconds that Vici Gaming that isn't pushing the waves back.
Yeah, no, LG is happy with this. So like, all right, we don't get the kill, but he's up.
All right,
Roshan's
Faces.
also up.
Buyback timer check.
Yep, on it here.
3 minutes.
Okay, so it's up in 3. He's going to be up in 20, though, as far as just naturally. Refresher, by the way, on Storm Spirit. He's had that, so double Bloodthorn, double bots even. He has 21 charges on that Bloodstone, which, of course, is helping.
Not gonna lie, this is my first time ever seeing a refresher Storm Spirit.
Seems like an odd item on a hero, but it makes sense at the same time, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's basically using the refresher all for his, item.
That's 100% all.
Yeah. I guess also Electric Vortex, but whatever.
Yeah, that's definitely the big key right here. I mean, Lotus Orb on Rubik. Let's kind of, okay, we're in a little bit of a calm. Quickly go through level 25s. 20% cooldown reduction on Rubik. I'm up to 25 yet on him. Storm Spirit, of course, with the Electric Vortex here. So for the pull-in. Basis didn't get the 600 time walk out, so he's had that for a while, of course.
Yeah.
Our Shaker's almost level 20. That could be interesting. Minus 2 seconds or 600. Everyone else, Weaver, 35% magic resistance over the Sakuchi speed.
Look, he's chrono half the time,
True.
so I'm not sure if Sakuchi matters. Especially, again, there's a lot of magic damage coming outside of LGD. One thing I want to mention is, right now, Hao is essentially trading his 8-minute buyback cooldown for a Chronosphere, right? Every time they even have a chance of winning a fight is he gets chronoed, he buys back, and he time-lapses back into the fight.
Yeah.
The problem is he doesn't have buyback now, so I don't see how unless Ame just whiffs the chrono, which can happen.
Here we go. Jump in, the chrono hits Visage. That's not the prime target. So what are they going to do after this now? Visage is going to end up falling. No buyback for him, but you see how? He's just hanging around. No chronos to be worried about, but they're going for the ace. They're going for the finish. LGD wants this game over. They don't care about L. They want the GG. And okay, LGD's going to the next round of face home Keen with a spot. The TI-7 on the line. VG is out of it. With a game like that, I'm just gonna